We're going to do weekly Parashat Tisa. Parashat Tisa is maybe one of the most interesting, intrinsic, special and unique parashiot in the history of Am Yisrael. Together with the continuation of the description of building the Beit HaMikdash, of the temple, the tabernacle. Sorry, I'm like a little out today. The cure and all the other things of the Kohanim, which you could spend some time talking about it as well. We have the Moshe Rabbeinu going up to the mountain. We have the Egel. We have the breaking of Luchot HaBrit, the tablets, and not the iPhone, etc. Therefore, in order to try to help us out, we'll try to ask some questions, guiding questions, on those main questions, main issues of the parasha, and we'll try to understand what does it really, if at all, what we can learn from that for the pnimiut internally. What does it tell us? So, question number one. The most maybe the most famous question of all: how is it possible that a nation that has just received the Torah have seen all those great miracles, the 10 Makot of Mitzrayim, Kriyat Yam Suf, and everything that came along with that, the Matan Torah Vetz itself? How is it possible that a nation like that makes an egel? Question number one. Why, and by the way, those questions are, believe me, they have to do with us as well. Why is it that Aharon, that at least on the surface, seems like to be the architect of this ordeal with the Egel? He's the Grand Master here. Not only that he's continuing as his Avodat HaKodesh, he doesn't even get punished. At least on the spot, from this ordeal that he had orchestrated. The third question: who exactly sinned in this Egel? Avner, come closer here. If we are talking about a limited or a small number of people that actually sinned in or participated in this ordeal, why is it that all Am Yisrael suffered and still suffering to a certain extent from that case? And the fourth question: why is it that Moshe Rabbeinu, again, all on the surface, seems like he loses his control, self-control, and he is indulging in something that we all know not to do, which is Kas, angry. And we say the person who is angry, he's like doing Avodah Zarah. So what? They did Avodah Zarah. You, Moshe Rabbeinu, should know better. Don't, control yourself. Not only that he's angry, he takes the luchot and he throws them on the floor, and they break and they shatter, and they made a movie out of it. Is it really that he lost it, or that Moshe Rabbeinu actually is trying to teach us something about this by acting like that? So let's try to go one by one. So far, so good? Good questions? Of course, I asked them. How can it not be? So, those people that not a long time ago were witness to miraculous events, great miracles. Those miracles, by the way, that we not only could only, as they say, I could only imagine, or I can only hope for. We don't even. I feel that we couldn't even imagine what they had to go through, because they were so awesome, they were so great. I don't even know what happened there in terms of the miracles to say, oh, I wish I had it, because it was so great. Those people get up and make a golden calf. They dance around it in some kind of like a pagan ecstasy, dancing all around, like with, and it was just really, it's unexplainable it is hard for us to understand after such a divine revelation you could do idol worshiping. It's just like, I don't understand that. It just doesn't make sense. So the first explanation that usually comes into mind is that usually after a divine revelation of that magnitude, which is a direct revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there's two ways, emotional ways, to deal with such an event. I mean, it's really something that overwhelms you. Let me give you an example. If you are, let's say, walking behind near a wall, and there's a corner, and somebody comes and goes, "Whoo!" You're scared. You jump. It shocks you. We walk on our lives. We don't see God. All of a sudden, it says, "Whoo! Hi, I'm God." It will overwhelm you. You'll be scared. So one way to deal with that is to really cease to exist. It's so huge. It's so awesome. It's so unbelievable. They say, you know what? I'm sorry. I just can't function like this, and I would cease to exist. I can live with that. It was too great for my neshama to actually, or for my spiritual ability to hold on, and my soul went out. And I can't live anymore. The other way is that it is so overwhelming, it is so great. So I'm going to do something which is quite the opposite. I'm going to rebel against God in order to push Him to the corner of my awareness and kind of continue in my daily routine. In other words, do me a favor, just get out of my life. I don't really want you in my life. Just go to the corner. I'm going to rebel against you. I want to separate from you. It's just, again, we cannot live like that. And this is the first explanation that we have. Those two reasons, the first explanation. The second one, which I want to concentrate on today, would really maybe stem and be as a result of our, and again, no offense meant, and I don't want to hurt anybody, but really from the shallowness of our religious slash divine experience in which we go through. Again, our experience, our religious experience, and the way we experience God in our lives is extremely shallow. And I'll show you, Bezrat Hashem, what does it mean. The event of Har Sinai, I don't know if I'm going to go through 5 pages, but the event of Har Sinai, we can always continue tomorrow and put this part 1 and part 2. The event of Har Sinai was so overwhelming, was so powerful, that usually what happened in cases like this is, since the experience is so great and so overwhelming, we simply don't want it to end, and we want it to last forever and ever. We want more stimulations, more stimuli to come upon us. This is a great experience, I want it on. That experience operates us in such magnitude that we simply become addicted to it. We are addicted to the experience. And when that experience ends or goes somewhere else, there is a certain gap inside of us. There's a certain emptiness inside of us. And that emptiness, that place inside of us, just wants one thing. It wants more. At that point, the substance is not an issue for us. We're not interested in substance. What we are interested in is, just let me feel it just one more time. Just let me feel it one more time, and let me feel it quickly. I want it now. Years ago, maybe like 20-something years ago, I read a memoir, or a biography, should I say, a biography of Miles Davis. Miles Davis was a famous jazz musician. To you youngsters who don't know who it is, you should get to know. He's a wonderful trumpet player. And he describes in his book his experience with cocaine. The first time that he had sniffed cocaine, the experience was overwhelming. It was a rush like never before. From that point on, he became addicted to it. He wanted more to experience it, and he never comes back again. That is an addiction. So cocaine is maybe the extreme of that. We are addicted to. We're addicted to stimulation, empty stimulation. We are addicted to Disneylands and merry-go-round and Ferris wheels and all those what do you call those things, roller coasters, and we are. But yes, why did I go there? What's the point of that? We are addicted to the stimulation, to the experience, without any substance, and it is almost true to every aspect of our lives. We fail to fill our life and our experiences with substance, and not substance abuse, with something real. It's quite possible that this is exactly what happened here. The sheer magnitude of this revelation was so overwhelming, so great. There's nothing there before. I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes when a person goes, let's say you're a secular Jew or something like that, and you're hearing this wonderful lecture, this gives you a rush, and you go in and you feel that spiritually elevated. There's like adrenaline of spirituality into you, pumping. And you go on and you says, okay, I'm going to make a commitment to live religious life. And then you come to the day-to-day routine and says, this is not what I signed on for. It's the same thing. There's this big rush, and it goes, boom, down. It is like the two different types of fire. If I would make fire out of gasoline or from acetone, which is quick, burns quickly without any intense heat to it, but it's flammable, extremely flammable. Or I'm going to take some hard wood, like oak or maple, dry. I'll put some effort into setting it on fire. And once it goes on fire, it will stay like this for a long time, and it produces steady heat. Most of us are looking in our lives for this excitement, and it doesn't make a difference if you marry someone. So that's the excitement of the first week or month or whatever it is, and then you feel this emptiness inside of you. And today is very easy. People simply divorce, but they forgot one thing. They'll continue with that pattern again and again and again. They will keep on failing, because it does not make a difference what it is. They haven't solved the problem. The problem is, again, addiction to sensations, to experiences without any substance. What do you learn from this? Experiences are a good thing. It's a good thing to have experience. You can't go your life without having an experience. But you have to remember the experiences are good as long as you remember that they are a byproduct of the subject, of the issue itself, of what is it you're doing. And they are not the subject themselves. They're just a byproduct, a result of. It's more important, therefore, to remember that what is really important is, what am I doing, not what it does to me. You're always wanting things to be done to you. And there's no difference, by the way, if you're coming to Yeshiva and learning, and you're looking to be entertained, each one to his level. One wants to hear about demons and reincarnation, and the other one wants to be entertained by by new concept of great rabbis and so on and so forth. How are you going to entertain me? What are you going to do for me? What have you done for me lately? And it's not. The question is, you came here to learn, or you came here to be entertained. If you came here to learn, this is the topic. This is the subject. That's the matter. That's what's important. You came here to learn, you're learning. If you have some great excitements along the line, and you're feeling terrific, that's good. Good for you. That's extra. But you didn't come here to be entertained. You came here to learn. Remember this. This is one of the basic things for your failure in your life, in your work, in your career, into your interpersonal relationship. That's how you fail. That's why you fail. That's why you can't commit yourself to anything. You jump. You are naturally ADD with a hyperactive component. You just bounce out because you are not looking to do anything. You're just looking to get excited. You don't have the kung fu inside of you. You don't have this long effort over mastering something over a long period of time. By the way, that's why you guys like musicians and actors, because they live the image for you without you actually doing anything for it. You can go on to your work, to your word. They're singing the songs, they're living their life, and you just relate to them. You think that that's what it is. Do you ever try to play an instrument? Seriously? It's easy. You're looking for excitement. So therefore, as soon as the experience becomes the essence, humans, man, a person becomes a slave. If this is your purpose, say hello to yourself, you officially became a slave. You're a slave for yourself. This is the worst thing because you never break free. When you're a slave to somebody else, you strive to be free. When you're a slave for yourself, you're a slave forever. A person becomes dependable. And his life are endless chase after nothing. Because you're never going to reach an end. This chase is going to continue on and on. You chase. These are your demons, by the way. If you are talking to me about demons, are they demons? Yes, they are all in your head. These are your demons. And in Har Sinai itself, in this event of Har Sinai, that potential, there was a great potential. And the potential was either to build something, or the potential was for this destruction, to this total destruction of something great. The real movement in which we should strive for, or what we should be striving for, is persistence. This movement of persistence does not make the experience ikar, the main subject or the main point of your action, does not get excited from ups and downs. You know, okay, so a little up, a little down. It doesn't make a difference as long as I'm going on with my path. As much as you cannot fill a glass of water, putting it down to the Niagara Falls, you're not going to get an ounce of water. Most likely, you're going to fall also after that. What you need to fill up a cup of water, or a glass of water, is a bubbling brook that gently bubbles and flows down. Remember that. If you're looking to have a meaningful life, you need a bubbling brook. You don't need Niagara Falls. And I know Niagara Falls are beautiful, they're gorgeous. It's something that's worth to say a bracha or say Maaseh Bereshit. They are awesome. It's the sheer power of nature. But did you ever get excited over seeing a brook coming down? Little teeny thing like this? For me, it's just exciting. It's just as exciting as that. And probably more useful for me, because I can use it. So, this is, hello Mike, this is why, if you ever wonder, how did they do that? This is why. This is also you. Second question. Aaron's behavior is weird. It really is weird. I don't understand what he's doing. For years, the people come to Aaron. They says, "Excuse me, we need a new god." He says, "Okay, not a problem. Come on, bechavot, take your gold, right? We buy gold." Big sign. We buy gold. Give us gold. Give us silver. Takes the whole thing, throws it into the fire. Bang, comes out. The egel comes out. So before we're going to actually judge Aharon, let's try to see what really happens there, because we always miss that, because we are just like any other person. We like to see the things, we don't put the effort in, we don't bother, and we miss something that's quite obvious. Whatever you think is obvious, guess what? It's not the cause. You have to look for what is not obvious to you, or you're missing out to actually reach the truth. And what really happens is like that. Moshe went up to the mountain. Behind him, he left two people as babysitters for Am Yisrael. He left Aharon, and he left Hur. All right, ooh, that's nice. He left. Where are you going?
I gotta go finish up.
Ah, okay. Don't finish up. Come and listen. So he left Aharon, and he left Hur as babysitters for Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael is starting to get a little confused with this ecstasy of the golden calf, and then Hur comes to them. Hur shows up, and then we need to ask the question: when the word did it disappear? Hur simply disappeared off the face of the earth. Good. So what happens is they simply kill him. They killed him. Aaron understands and reads the situation and acts beautifully. He understands that he cannot stop them at this moment. Therefore, what he's trying to do is to minimize the damage. Minimize the damage. He says he understands that if they're going to do what they're going to do, they want to do Avodah Zarah. But on top of that, not only did they kill Hur, they're going to kill him. He is a prophet, he's a Kohen, and they're probably going to kill him because he was inside the Mishkan, inside the Ohel. They're going to kill him there. For that, they're going to get all wiped out. So Aharon realized that for this they would not be able to do tshuva. And Aaron is not thinking about how he's going to save himself. Aaron is thinking about the people now. He's thinking about the people, how to save them. We need to remember that sometimes you cannot deal with wickedness or with what we call bad. You can't deal with that. You can't go with it head to head. You can't go against it. Sometimes you need to be, when cases like this, you need to be a little tricky. You need to learn the art of war. Because you can't stop the slide. For that, if you will, and while you're sliding down, it's going to be a great catastrophe. The same story like Rabbi Israel Misalant. One day he tells his Shamash, Habibi, let's go. Get the horses, get the carriage. We're going. I said, Rabbi, where are we going? He said, we're going to Paris. He says, Rabbi, why are we going to Paris? We're going to Paris to save the Jews. You're going to Paris to save the Jews. You have to understand, at the time, the situation was bad, was dire. People in France and this part of the world were completely out of Judaism. So yes, we're going to save him. He said, Mechila Rabbi, with all due respect, in our town, the situation is not so bad. They just started. We can still save it. So you don't understand. You don't understand. If you're going on a horse and you're going downhill The horse is going, so it's going downhill. If you're going to stop the horse, sus ve'rochbo rama bayam, you and the horse are going to tumble down, most likely you and your horse are going to die. I'm not going to be able to control it then. Let it go all the way down. Only when it reaches the bottom, only then I can control it. I cannot control it on the way down. There's no way I can do anything here. They are going down. They're not going to listen to me. And since they're not going to listen to me, since I'm going to give them tochecha, they're going to be mezidim. Because they're going to do it, they will consider it as doing averah, sinners deliberately. Now that they are completely down in Paris, they are completely down, I'll talk to them, they would listen. There is a chance they would listen. When they're going downhill, you can't listen. It's trying to make sense of a person who is in the middle of a rage. He's screaming, he's yelling. You can't talk to him. You can't argue with him. So all you got to do is keep quiet. When he comes down, talk to him nicely. This is what Aaron is doing. Aaron is saving Am Israel. We are very quick to judge Aaron. We are very quick to judge Aaron and to wonder, on top of that, to wonder against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how come he didn't punish him? You don't understand what he was doing here. Sometimes it will come your way. Whether it's a person who is in rage, or sometimes you would have situations in which you're just going to do something you're not supposed to be doing. If you don't have the power not to start it, you have to be very wise to know how to handle it and to minimize the damage. If the damage is going to happen anyway, try to minimize the damage. Try to minimize the damage. If sometimes you see somebody who's going off the derech, if you're going to stop having an argument with him, he's not going to listen to you. Just be nice to him, talk to him. Let him open the door, so the door won't be completely closed. When he's ready, never shut the door on him. When he's ready, he'll come knock on your door, the door will be open, he'll come in. You have to be very wise on that. You can't be a hothead. Sometimes you have to be, and I'll show you now. That will bring us to the third question. The third question was, how is it possible that only few people sinned and all of Israel got punished? And that's what it is. The Chet HaEgel, that golden calf, is engraved in the collective memory of Am Israel. That even over 3,300 years and change, we still remember that blunder that happened in the desert. We always mention that. So one way to explain it is, which I heard it one time, when Adam HaRishon sinned, the whole reason for that event to happen was really to teach us that you can make tshuva, that you could repent. If something happens, you don't say, okay, I'm breaking it at all, there's nothing to do. You can fix this, you can make tshuva. So that's an individual tshuva. I heard one time that they say that in order, the egel in a way had to happen in order to teach us collective tshuva, that a tzibur, that a congregation can repent together as a body. A nation could repent to do that. I'm going to go somewhere else. It says, if we look at it, did we really, all of us, messed it up? They really messed it up, all of us? I mean, it was only 3,000 people. If you look further and carefully in the Psukim, you see it's only 3,000 people that sinned. 3,000 people would be, I don't know, it's not such a big number. It is almost like having, if you look at the stands, it's like the fourth quarter Jets. You have about 3,000 people there. Or the ninth inning Mets. It's not a big number. Why everybody has to suffer? The answer is like this. Am Israel was on such a spiritual level. I mean, listen, how do we call these people? The silent majority? The silent majority, right? It's you and I remember what I tell you all the time. You have a problem? Call your senator. Call your congressman. Don't just sit there and be silent. Right? So, why do everybody gets punished? There was the silent majority. They didn't say anything. That's exactly the issue. They were silent. If you're going to be next to a crime, or if you see a crime taking place, and you standing there without saying anything, that is like committing the crime itself. Somebody else is doing the crime. You, or doing something wrong, not necessarily a crime, or doing something wrong. You haven't said a word. You witnessed this, and you haven't said something wrong. It's like you did it. You're a partner in that. We have a major problem with millions of people. We have a really serious problem that millions of people at such a high spiritual level can sit there and watch 3,000 people doing something so wrong and keep quiet. In other words, Houston, we have a problem. Something wrong with this picture. And that's why we need to pay the price. We need to pay the price because we cease to understand that sometimes, that's what Moshe Rabbeinu is doing. Sometimes in life, there would be situations in which we would be required and expected to do things that are not convenient to us. We'll be expected to do things that don't look good, smell good, but they need to be done. You cannot hide all your life under mommy's apron and say, I didn't see it. I didn't hear anything. You know, like those 3 Chinese monkeys. Speak no evil, hear no evil. I didn't see anything. Right? I didn't do anything wrong. But when you say that, you need to realize that this is exactly what you did wrong. You did nothing. When you see something wrong happening and you don't say anything, even protest that, that is wrong. And for that you would be punished. So therefore we have a major problem here. And that major problem needs a long process of exile to solve it. Because you do see that in the 2,000 years that we've been in exile, Am Yisrael was able to elevate itself to a higher level because something was really so-called defective in them. That was the emunah. That will bring us to the 4th question. We have time? The 4th question is, what was wrong with Moshe Rabbeinu? What was really wrong with Moshe Rabbeinu? And Moshe Rabbeinu does something quite interesting. He takes the... so you're going to come earlier. So is Moshiach. We thought you were going to come earlier. Moshe breaks the tablets. And we need to understand something about the moments that we break as well. There are moments in which we break. Davka, specifically, in the moments that we break, and we all go through moments of, that's it, I give up, I can't do this anymore, I'm breaking. Davka, and especially, and most likely almost only, at those moments of extreme difficulty when you are breaking, this is the opportunity for you to develop and to excavate and to find the deepest will inside of you, that power that is inside of you that would only come out through that. Almost like a nuclear explosion. Only through this massive reaction, you get this huge energy, this blast. Therefore, Moshe stands at the gates of the camp, and what does he say? Mi leHashem Elai. Who's going to join me in the fight for Hashem? In other words, he says, where's your will? He's calling them. Mi leHashem Elai. Do you have this will in you? You want to be with me? 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 Okay, come over. He's calling upon the will, the power of will. Sam. And it's the same question that HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked Adam HaRishon. And he said to him, Ayeka, Adam, where are you? What do you mean, where are you? More of like, man, where have you been? Right? It says, where are you, Adam HaRishon? Where's your awareness? Did you see what happened to you? How'd you get to where you got? What happened to you along the way? What was your situational awareness? What happened to you? The first luchot were forced upon us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, that's it. Take a har kigigit, the mountain on top, get it or else. Yes, the people said, Na'aseh v'nishma. We'll do and we'll hear. Na'aseh v'nishma. But still, it was an external awakening. It was it'orerut chitzonit. It was forced upon them. Therefore, it was, and that's why he needed to be kofeh alehem, to place upon them har kegegit, the mountain on top, in order to give them the first luchot that were done completely by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He need to do it in order to show them that there's only one will in which you have to strive to. This is the will of God. But the real intention was actually to create a partnership here. And for partnership, we need an internal awakening to do that. I can tell you, for example, listen, I see you're not doing so well in business. You want to be partners? And you say, yeah, why not? Why not? You think you're going to take a ride with me. I have the business, I have the customers, you're going to take a ride with me. Really, you don't want to be my partner. You just want to be my partner because, what can you do? Business is bad. But if we're sitting down and said, man, you want to do something together? Say, yes, I do. It's quite different. We don't have that. You think about other partnership that you would form. Marriages. The reason marriages fall, because it was all external. It was not an internal awakening. It was all external. And then for that, we go to other gods. We go to mistress. Egel Azav was the mistress. So therefore, there was needed to create, through Moshe, a connection of connect heaven and earth. And Moshe says, you know what? I'm breaking this. This deal is over. This partnership is over. He breaks it. It's like taking the contract and I'm ripping it. And I say, you want to come with me? Because I'm going to Hashem. You want to do that? You want to connect heaven and earth? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, come with me. Mila Hashem Elai. Now, think about that. Think about that. Think about your friends. Are you friends? Or you become friends with someone because you really want to be his friend? Or because you want to get something out of him? Otherwise, that's not partnership. One of you is going to rebel against each other. Most likely, the one who feels inferior, or that was somewhat forced into that, or this feels he was forced into that, is going to rebel against that, and then both of them are unhappy. And it's your friends, it's your spouses, it's anything you do. Sometimes it's also yourself. You do things internally yourself. You do things internally, from an internal awakening, you feel good. You do things because external awakening, you rebel against yourself. You're going to find yourself doing things that, what in the world I was thinking? It happened with yourself as well. And I said to you 1,000,000 times, you need to have a relationship with yourself as well. So how do we come to all that? So we touched few points and we saw how it actually reflects our own life. But we need to understand that we have our whole entire life is a journey. Building, destroying and building. We need to understand that in order to connect, to attach ourselves to something, when we want to achieve or to acquire something, there are different stages and it takes time. For example, if you want to go to college, or you want to get a title, you want to become a doctor, or you want to do something, at the beginning he has a great desire to become that. And after that, there is a stage in which he will have to force himself to continue going to school, right? School is going to be difficult. You need to push yourself. But that stage you need to break as well. You can't take any more organic chemistry. You can't play piano anymore. You can't do any more. Whatever it is that you do, you have to understand you need to pass the stage as well. Every stage in life has an end. That is an end as well. There is a stage you need to finish. You need to understand that is a very good practice to start something, but even more important, to actually finish it. Don't start too many things at once. You're not going to be able to finish. You have to be able to connect internally to the root of your motives. To the root of your motives, to find your internal will, your true internal will. And I ask you 100 times, why do you want to do that? And the same thing with your question. Why are you asking me this question? What is really your internal motive? What do you really want to do, what you want to do? You want to become a lawyer because it's money, fame, or because you really like it? You want to become a doctor, and on and on and on. What's your internal motive? Because if your internal motive is not truthful, or you're saying something, and it's not your internal, you are not going to finish it, and you'll become a very unhappy person. So therefore we need to understand that our breakage is maybe sometimes when things break and we reach this level of breakage, maybe sometimes or most of the time this is the most constructive part of your life, because then you could, when things are really hard, then you really have an ability or a chance to know, do you really want it? And that's what happened to us here. When Moshe Rabbeinu says, Mila Hashem Elai, do you really want the Torah now? Okay, you don't have to get it. I'm breaking it. Like, you really want it, or you don't want it? And it will happen to you as well. Bnei Israel are extremely impatient. They know that Moshe Rabbeinu is going to stay up for 40 days. They didn't know that the day that he went up to the mountain is not in the 40 days. It's the same thing that we say about Mashiach. Mashiach is going to come this time. How do you know where to count it from? So therefore, if somebody tells you, I know exactly when Mashiach is coming, say to him, thank you very much, I don't want to hear anything from you. You probably don't know what you're saying. Most likely, you don't know what you're saying, because we don't know where to count it from. So they miscalculated that, and then they did the sha'ot, they did the cheshbon, and all of a sudden Moshe Rabbeinu is not coming. They became impatient, and then they say, the Gemara refers to it in a very harsh word, Kekalaha mezana tachat chupata, like a bride who is unfaithful under the canopy of a wedding. When we say Ve'aish Moshe boshesh lavo, Boshesh, they had to wait 6 more hours. 6 more hours. It does sound familiar. Adam Arishon had to wait a few minutes. All he had to do is a few minutes. The Gemara says, Le'atid lavo, HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows tzadikim the Yetzer Hara, and he shows Rashaim the Yetzer Hara. To a Rasha, the Yetzer Hara looks like a hair thread. And they cry. And to the tzadikim, he shows them Yetzer Hara is like a mountain. And they cry. They cry. He says, it's a mountain. How were we able to overcome this? And to the Rasha, he says, it was like a hair. As fine as a hair. How come we didn't do that? I'll tell you why they didn't do it. Because all their life, they left their lives on a thread. They never try to really settle down their lives, to have solid opinions. Everything for them was a thread. It's borderline. Go ahead. This is an attitude. We're going to go on. I don't want to go because it's 9 o'clock. We have to daven Arvit. We're going to continue B'ezrat Hashem tomorrow. Or if not, you can catch us on... No, you can catch us on, where is it? Torah anytime. You can catch us on Torah anytime for part half, because this is like 1.5 for part half. And I explained to you, B'ezrat Hashem, what's the problem that we have with Mashiach? And why is it wrong to say, I want Mashiach now? And I would be lenient to tell you what is the tikkun of this generation. Until then, if you do me a big favor, just try to remember what we say. Don't give up. Don't be afraid to look inside. It's a wonderful journey to the center of the earth. It's a wonderful journey to the center of yourself. Don't be afraid to do so. Don't be impatient. Do a chazara to what we said. Review it. Look at it again. Like this we get more hits. But look again and look again. It is very important to your success. It is very important for your ability to live fulfilled and happy life and meaningful life. So listen to it and believe me more than once. Ezrat Hashem, we shall have a Shabbat Shalom, and we shall have a wonderful Shabbat of a spiritual and spiritual strength Shabbat full with meaning. And that will be the beginning of a meaningful life from this point on. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon.